What's going on, everybody? Big Matt and Diamond Dean is back in the house. We're sure enough glad to have everybody here. Today, we're going to talk about some college stuff. And, of course, we're going to talk about a little bit of the Summer of Greats. Diamond Dean has put together a list. This is Cedar Bluff classes for a few years. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. First of all, congratulations to Ole Miss for winning the College World Series.
Wow.
That's a big deal for them.
Champion, huh?
Swept Oklahoma. So that's a big deal. All right, Spotify and Applecast, we're glad that they're in the house too. Like I said today, we're going to talk about our media days a little bit yesterday. Thought it went really well. We're glad to have everybody here. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Big Matt, and this is the one and only sitting across here. This is Diamond Dean, and all they have to do is just
hit the subscribe button. Yeah,
that's all they need to do. It's not real complicated. I'm gonna get it back up there. There it is. All right, and first of all, I would like to say we prayers for Coach O'Brien and his family. The stuff they got family stuff they got going on down there. Coach Christian, we like Mark. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Spent some time down there with him, got to know him a little better here over the past year, and we hope to have him on after we get back to our normal setting on into July when we get back from our last break next week. We will not be on for the 3rd of July. We will be watching the Stallions play for the championship in Canton. So Dean's going to get in a little more details on that. So that kind of covers, I guess, what we're going to be talking about. So we'll just dig right in here, Dean.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday at Media Days, we had a good time. It was the second annual Media Days we had over at Easy Street. Appreciate Shane Gibbons for definitely helping put all that together.
Yeah. 2 years in a row. Well,
yeah,
actually 4 times now, right?
Yeah, we've had basketball and we've had softball and baseball and basketball for boys and girls. So we're really appreciative for them for doing that and the staff. And we've got a shout out to our sponsors that throw together and to help us kind of make this move along so all the kids could have some cool shirts to wear over there. Farmers and Merchants Bank. Mm-hmm. Neil Compton, you know Neil?
Oh, yeah, he's a good one.
He's a good guy. And Kent at Rehab Partners up here in Center. JR and April McKenzie at Cherokee Eye Clinic. And then down at Coosa Corner, went there and talked to them, and they were on board. I just said it's just a small donation.
Good place to eat.
Yeah, and we'll throw you on there, and we'll sure enough talk about you on the show. And we do enjoy their food, and Lord knows the wife really enjoys the peach cobbler.
Oh, man, their food's awesome.
You can eat it by the bucket loads down there.
It's awesome. Chicken and everything.
Yesterday, actually, Dean, we've got over 2,000 just on our Facebook alone. Mm-hmm. So thank you, everybody, for all the followers out there. It's really picked up a lot. We've got almost 1,000 on the Side Note show. Mm-hmm. It's really come a long way. I never thought when we started doing this, picking scores in the church, kind of how it would all kind of make out.
Yeah, and first one, December 15th in the church.
Yeah, 2019.
Sunday school class.
And, without you guys, and we've been on and started podcast here, and we've got a good little crowd that likes to listen there. A lot of our truck drivers and guys that are out working hard and driving bobcats and driving equipment.
Yeah, a lot of people listen to us at work.
They like to throw it in their earphones and listen. We couldn't do it without you guys. We had over 5,000 watches on our reels that I put together for the workouts for the summer through all the schools in the county. So they went over 5,000 views.
What about yesterday? I know it was at 900.
Yeah, it was over 1,000 this morning.
Okay.
So that's
1,500 probably on that.
I think each video on YouTube has got 40 or 50. So there's about 200 or 300 there, and it'll keep climbing. I mean, last year it wound up climbing over 4,000.
Right.
Because it'll go through the week and people will go back and watch it, or other people find out later in the week. So we're just being appreciative right now.
Yeah, it's good to get the kids on camera and get some exposure, and the coaches too,
Absolutely. They all work hard at what they do, and we're proud of our county. And hats off, Coach Short, for coming. Actually, the Alabama High School show that John Holder does, Coach Short is going to be a part of that with Gerhardt. Well, he used to play down that way. He's a little younger than us, I think. He was part of the Pigskin Roundup back in the day. Him and Coach Short are going to be on the new show with John Holder. John emailed me the day before and said he wasn't going to be able to make it. Thank you for the kind words. We love what y'all do up there, Cherokee County. That's his home area. He went to school out at Spring Garden. Keep doing what we do. If there's anything he could do to help us, but he was going to send Coach Short to come cover for him.
Yeah, he did a good job. I think he'll get back in coaching.
Think so?
Myself.
He seems happy doing this stuff.
Yeah.
He's going to be doing some stuff with John.
Coached for
in this
30
high school.
years at Heflin, or somewhere. I don't know if it was all at Heflin.
And Jeff Allen. Sent him an email back in probably 1st of August and 1st of May, school's getting out.
Do I need to pull this up to me?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that so we had Jeff Allen there. That was big. When you send out an email to somebody like that,
He's a big name.
you just kind of hope, because I invite everybody. I invite people from Anniston Star. I invite Robertson guy from Fox Sports in Gadsden.
Right.
So I invite everybody, and whoever shows up is great for me. We invited and talked to Mr. Jacobs. He was going to come, and just some networking things. He just couldn't come.
I was glad that.
Just very happy for all them to come.
Jeff Allen, that's a big guest.
Let me turn this. I probably messed this thing up. Podcast. I'm sorry.
Wouldn't you agree?
I do that all the time.
He's a huge guest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just kind of being humble right now. Get to the first few minutes here, and of course, Shannon come from WIS. He's going to cover stuff for our local
Reggie
paper here, and then of course Joe's. Todd, we met them guys back last year, and they just been nothing but humble and helpful. And Bo couldn't come; he was on vacation with the wife and Lily. They went down the beach.
Yeah.
But Josh came and set the camera up and took some cool pictures, and Reggie came and they both put in
questions.
Yeah, they put their hat in there and asked questions. So it's great, man. Any more coverage for our county?
I think we had.
We're always down.
Do we have 6 people or 7 people?
Or 6.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Roy couldn't come. He was at I think he had a wedding or something, which the wedding for the day that probably had a lot of our audience at was at Bailey Blanchard's. Congratulations, Bailey. We love you, and we hope things are going well for you and the new wife. He's on honeymoon right now. They're probably at the beach or something, I suppose. And seen a picture of the James, and they look great, all dressed up, and seen some pictures of some of the guys, some buddies. I think I seen Chapel in one of them, or Cam, and some of the players over there, and that's where some of them were. They weren't there yesterday.
Right.
From that, so congratulations again, Bailey, and God bless him, and just for a long, happy marriage. We'll hope everything goes well.
Yeah, sure. That'll be great. They'll have a good life.
Yeah.
Ahead of him. He's a good guy.
He is.
I don't know her, but I'm sure she's a good girl.
Oh, yeah.
I know her sister.
Okay.
She goes with Preston.
Oh, is it her? Okay, that's right. He told me that. Yes, I know
Reedy.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, he told me that because me and him got talking about Preston. And they was talking about hunting or something. I forgot. It's like, yeah, okay.
So they're from Spring Garden, obviously.
Yeah.
And of course, he's from Piedmont.
Right. Yeah, we wish them nothing but lots of luck. And again, Coach O'Brien's family, and just, hope everything's going to work out. I hope it does.
I hope so. We went down and saw Coach O'Brien the other day and had a good time down there.
Yep, had a good time. Yeah, him and Teddy's class act.
Yeah, we cut up with them, have a good time.
And the other guy that helps them train too, that
was it? Well, the coach, Alaric Williams, but you're talking about the one that I played against from Gat. Oh, Skaggs.
Yes, man, him.
Wade Skaggs.
His boy and them there.
Yeah, they get after him. They do a lot of working out.
He seems like he could run a marathon right now.
He could run. I asked him if he was the fastest player on that Gaston team, and he's not arrogant at all. He was like, "Oh yeah, I was."
Well, I mean,
he was. I figured he was.
That is what.
I don't even know. I shouldn't even ask because I already knew the answer.
It is what it is. When you got it, smoke them if you got them.
Yeah,
that's what Granddaddy used to say. Or
said, "You're saying it could be better for college basketball."
That's better for everything. From that aspect of it.
That aspect of it.
Now, if you just don't like paying the kids and think they're gonna partied up and drink a lot of beer and do a lot of wild stuff like most of them do.
And I'm not this guy. I don't think he would.
And I'm not judging nobody, trust me, but that's what I would have done.
Right? Yeah.
I wouldn't have done right by it. I'll we're watching some here on Oklahoma, Ole Miss. Man, they're piling up out there.
Wow, Ole Miss.
Look at that.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm ashamed to admit this, but I didn't know Ole Miss was that great.
Yeah, they've always been a kind of in and out of it a little bit. They become the first team to win a championship game when trailing after 7 innings since LSU in 2000 against Stanford. Sunday's contest was also the first game in years that Men's College World Series to feature multiple lead changes. Hunter Elliott scattered 3 hits while allowing 2 runs in 6.5 innings. Nichols and Gavis, 4-2 there, got the game to Johnson in the 9th. Horton allowed 4 hits and walked none during the Sterling 107 pitch performance.
A lot of people. He's going to be sore tomorrow, isn't he?
Nah, they love that stuff, man. They're used to it. Oklahoma appeared to have they started out 1-0, 1-0 in the 6th, but by the runs had been taken down when Spikerman, who had went down on a squeeze bunt, was called for runner's interference for impeding the first baseman. That was kind of a changing point in the game. Seemed like it changed the feeling, how it was going on. Elko, as he tried to catch Elko's throw, that's what it was. So that's kind of how some of that went.
Right.
So congratulations again to them.
That's big.
It is.
I should keep up with it more. I know the Braves are dominating again, aren't they?
Yeah.
They won like 19 of their last 18 or something like that.
I've seen that.
They're just unreal. They won like 14 or 15 in a row, did they not?
Yes.
And what's their record in the last month? Is it 21-1 or?
Back on this part of the show, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is part due. We're gonna get on into the
shots part due.
Cedar Bluff, the Summer of Greats. Diamond Dean has got a list for us of a couple of years. So, guys listening, you know who you are, and we appreciate y'all for hanging around, listening to us. And I'm going to put this part out there on some other sections, so this will be cut up for the other part. So, take it away there, Dean. This will be Summer of Greats from the
All right, we're going to hear a lot of names we hadn't heard in a while, but you'll remember. All right, so Summer of Greats, we did Gillsville. We did the 70, 75, and 80 teams at Gillsville. We're trying to go back no further than 50 years, right?
Yeah. Something relevant in our life. Well, when we were born.
When we were born.
Something
much.
like that.
Yeah, our young kids. Cedar Bluff, we're doing them tonight. We're doing the 72, 77, and 85 teams. All right, the 72 team, Matt, was coached by Jerry Benefield. All right, and they went 8-2. Their only losses were to Valley Head, who played for the state title. Back then, only 8 teams went. And Valley Head went and lost to Marion County. They lost to Donahoe by a touchdown. And I heard a great story on this. This actually came from my daddy. Cedar Bluff, the game was tied, and Cedar Bluff, a guy for Cedar Bluff broke one. And he raised the ball up at about the 10-yard line, celebrating, and the guy hit him and he fumbled. And they drove down and scored and won. So they could easily have went 9-1, but they were coached by Jerry Benefield. Matt's daddy was in the backfield on that team. Your daddy, Tim Poe, and Walter Clifton.
Yep, Walter.
All right, let me tell y'all some other players on that team right quick. All right, y'all just bear with me here.
See, Mayo was on the line. And
Mayo Williams.
Mayo Williams, Granny Goss. I think Daddy said Granny was I got it wrote down right there on that paper.
Okay, I got it right. Yes, I've got it
Granny
right here,
was
too.
he was the center. Eugene Wilson,
Granny Goss.
which is Larry's brother. Wilson used to be sheriff.
Right. Billy Lee, which is Neil's daddy.
Yep.
Ed Moten, Terry Ulrich, which is Ulrich's uncle. Poochie. Yeah.
Yeah, James is the one that's Jeremy and Joel's daddy, and Gina, she's in my class.
Right. Ronnie and Jimmy Davis. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Meade, which is Jamie's uncle, right? Yep. Jamie Lattis. Mm-hmm. Barry Mauser, Chris Johnson's uncle. Ben Nelson, which is Jeff's brother. Tim Garner, who I'm not sure, I don't know him. I don't think. Terry Farmer, Granny Goss, Charles Sneed, which is Matt's uncle.
Yeah.
Also, Steve Goss, Felix and Harry Moore, Richard Moore, Tim May, Johnny Nyman, Stuart Hall.
Yeah, Johnny. Now, what year is
And
this?
they were in the 10th grade or 9th.
Because Johnny, I think he was like class of 76 or something.
Yeah, they were.
He may have been like, I guess they were maybe some 7th, 8th graders.
Yeah, they were 9th grade, but they dressed out with them. So that's all the ones I've got. If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. Terry Farmer, which is George's brother. But as far as All-State honors, Walter Clifton made All-State, had over 1,000 yards. The other running backs, which was your daddy and Tim Poe, combined for 1,000.
Yeah, Tim was the quarterback that last year. Daddy
was the other running back.
He was the quarterback the year before.
Right.
And they swapped them, and just I guess because of the running style to change up the running game, and Felix and
I think they were still a
Harry,
little young.
They were tight ends and played defensive ends and linebacker.
I think they ended up being running backs. But now on that team, Poe, your daddy, and Walter Clifton were the running backs. Now, other than that, I couldn't find a whole lot on them.
Yeah, that's all the ones I would.
Yeah.
And Stevie was he was a
little younger than
a year or two behind them. See, and I think even what about Ricky Mize? See, Ricky was
young on that team.
Yeah, he would have been in that maybe ninth grade class or something.
Grade class.
Now, Daddy talks about them a lot, and I mean he knows all them guys.
Well, now you had some good stories here.
He loves all them they played together a lot. And he said they were very tough. He said he used to tell. Here's a story I'll share with you on that note, Dean.
All right.
He would tell Granny before the game that some guy across the field was going to rip his face off, and this guy was way better than you, and said he was talking trash about him or just aggravating him. He said he would get so mad, and first play of the game, Granny would he'd just destroy somebody. He said he would just eat that linebacker up and just destroy him.
Yeah.
And then the other story was he had the longest punt return. I think it's still supposedly.
Oh, yeah, and the lights went out.
At Spring Garden, the lights go out over there, and he just kept running, and the refs never blew it dead. So he had a long touchdown return there. And now he can't remember where he put his glasses at.
But he remembers
10 minutes
that.
ago. But he remembers Harvey Wade getting the ball.
Yeah, I saw that. Harvey Wade went for it. They went for it on 4th down. He said he got in, but they called him out at the 3.
Yeah, it was on 3rd down. They go in, and he said you could see his cleat marks pushing in. He said I tried to hit a guy.
Yeah.
And it was the quarterback from Valley Head. I think I may have he didn't know. He don't remember the guy's name. So he's a big old guy, over 6 foot tall. He says trying to block on them, and they were playing Raglan though, but he was a big like that quarterback from Valley Head.
Yes.
And he reaches over and scores. Swore they scored, so they had to go for him 4th, and they didn't make it.
They didn't make it. Yeah. Well, and it's got here. Your dad hit the quarterback from Valley Head. Helmet broke.
Yeah.
Had to cut the quarterback out of the fence.
Yeah. When they hit each other, they said they just. And they both slid up on. His arm was in the fence, and people were trying to help get him out. And you know, when your arm's in the fence, if you pull it back, it'll cut into it. So he's trying to hold it up and get it out. And
I wonder who that quarterback was, because they went to the state championship.
He said he was a man. He couldn't remember.
We'll try to find out.
Yeah, we can look it up. He said whoever he was.
Let me see here.
I've got the thing. No, it's on my other. It's on your computer right there, actually. If you got it open, you can click that little tab across the top. It says AHSA Alabama.
Well, I got it right here too. I got it right here. I did not know they played, and that was the only game they really lost. And bad or whatever, didn't
they? Lost that game by, I think he said they lost by a couple of points. It was a close game.
Quarterback Jack Carden.
Yeah.
First team.
He said he was a big guy.
Yeah, and they had another back that was All-State.
He would take off with it and run it, and he said he didn't think that. So he's bigger.
Yeah.
He said, I guess he didn't think that Daddy could run him down because he was smaller. So he said, I just took a good angle at him, and it turned out, and we wound up meeting over there. And man, it's one of them. He went to the wrong huddle. The ref come and got him, made him go to the sideline. He went in the locker room and just barely remembers coming back out. And they would let him drink a Coke at halftime. That was your treat.
Oh, a Coke.
Yeah, kind of give you a little sugar for halftime.
Yeah.
Coaches, that's the problem. Y'all got to remember what these old coaches were doing.
These kids need Coke.
They would drink Coke at halftime. Now, those guys were tougher than nails, won a lot of football games.
Yeah. I mean, get them a Coke at halftime. Come on, coaches.
You never heard that again. But anyway,
that was something.
That was some of that team. He talked about, Walter was just he was able to just pull away from people.
Yeah.
And Tim was just gritty and mean, and always had the tenacity. He wanted to score.
Well, now, from the things I've read, as far as offensively, your dad, Tim, and Walter were the three that touched the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and I know like maybe the next year it was Felix and Richard and then Johnny Nyman.
Yeah, and Steve Goss. And
Steve Goss.
See, Steve and them was tough. He said, man, you talking about just.
But they're a little younger than 72.
Yeah, just never stop. Like, you know, they try to be hard on them or some of the older guys. And he said, hey, you talking about somebody, that guy right there.
Right.
You could just grind him in the ground. He would just.
Then in 71, Harvey Wade and Walter were the backs, and your daddy was the quarterback.
Yes, he said that's what he was talking about. One of those stories where about Harvey scoring, that was Harvey. He was blocking for her. And he said, man, I swear he scored. He said his elbow hit my butt when he went by me. And my butt, he said, I'm straddling the goal line. He's behind me. He said he had to score.
But do you think that with losing Harvey, who was an all-state back, do you think Benefield thought, well, I'm going to move Doug back there and put Tim at quarterback?
Yeah.
Because Tim was not the quarterback in 71, your dad was.
Yeah. He was all-county quarterback.
Yeah.
Then they moved him in the backfield.
I mean, my daddy used to tell me that one year Doug was the quarterback and Tim was the quarterback the next.
Yeah. I guess it had to be because of the play
losing Harvey
in the backfield. So he
blocking for him?
He wanted to put him in the backfield. Yeah, he had to put him back there because, I mean, they didn't throw
I'm
it.
Assuming they split back stuff back then.
Well,
you know, like one back, one side.
Yes.
Back.
Oh, yeah, wishbone stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And probably had a wing back, too. You know, that might have been Felix. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Moving on to 77. Oh, and Mayo Williams was probably there, and Granny were their main linemen.
Yes, and Eugene and I wrote
some. I know
of
Eugene Wilson.
Yeah, it's Larry's brother. I don't know him. He's Daddy said he's moved somewhere and he does something, and he don't live around here.
All right, so that was Jerry Benefield's best team as far as record wise, but this next team's the team that went the farthest.
Yeah.
77, they went 8-4. Matt, they lost to Redbud, Georgia by 1 point. They lost the first game of the year, which that's understandable. They lost to Cleveland, and their other loss was in the second round to Ohatchee. And good stories I've heard about this team. They were down 18-0 to Cleveland at halftime. Now, I don't know how true it is. And Jerry Benefield come in at halftime and put in a run and shoot, and they come out and threw the ball all over the place and come back and won 21-18. Now, that is the score. I don't know how true that is. But now Ohatchee beat them the next week, and you know the story there that Ohatchee did an Indian dance on the 50.
Yes, I've heard that.
Okay, you've heard that, and they beat them to death. I don't know. They won the state.
Yeah.
I think the score was 33-6, which that's not terrible. I mean, you lost 33-6 to the state champion.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, but you know, you've seen some of these scores now, 63-3, and got beat 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns. Yeah. But stars of this team. Now I got some stats on this, Matt. John Barnes and Jerry Moulton both rushed for 1,000. Curtis Reese was the leading tackler. Bernard McElroy. Do you know Bernard? Lives up in Farrell, just right there on the right. You take that first right when you pass that gas place. And
like you're going back up there to Joe's? That first road?
Like you're going to Johnny Chandler's.
Yeah.
That first right.
Oh,
Yes, like you're going to Joe's.
Yeah,
Joe
okay,
yeah. Bernard was a leading receiver and kicked. All right. Let me tell you some of the other players on that team.
This was
77.
That was the year I was born. I think that would have been
all right.
Let's see. I think Cam's class was, she was right there somewhere. She was close to some of them. I don't know exactly.
Well, now all-state players on the team was Jerry Moulton, Curtis Reese, and John Barnes. You had Ricky Williams on that team, Andy May, which was Miss May's younger boy, Jeff Beck, Tony Graham, George Farmer, David King, Booger Sexton, who was a very good football player.
Just tough, man.
Yeah.
Couldn't hurt him.
Jimmy Mize, Randy Mize, Jeff Nelson, Terry Richardson, Jimbo Rogers, Thomas Russell, Charles Bishop, Dwayne Reese. Now, that's all I've got. And guys, if there's anybody I'm leaving out, that's all I could find.
Those guys, right? Every name you just named on there, they're some tough guys.
Yeah, I mean, Dwayne Reese, Thomas Russell, Preacher, Charles Bishop.
Yeah. Them guys, that's some tough group.
Jeff
right there.
Nelson, Terry Richardson, Booger Saxon. You can kind of see why they went so far. Jimmy Mize, George, Jeff Beck, Tony Graham, John Barnes, not Johnny Barnes, Bernard McElroy, Ricky Williams, who passed away, Curtis, and
That's a
Bernard McElroy.
super tough group right there.
Andy
Dave.
May, I'm sorry. Yeah, that is.
That's a lot of them guys there. All them names are, sheesh.
Let me play.
Wanna
I'm
play
trying
up
to
on them
see.
guys.
Now, I'm sure I don't have all of them.
They'd have beat us up and stuffed us in a locker somewhere.
Well, you know, you had a defense there. Now, Thomas was kind of young on that team. Him and Jeff Nelson, I think they might have been sophomores. But seniors was Curtis, Ricky, Andy May, Bernard, Jeffrey Richardson, John Barnes, and Jerry Moten.
I've heard stories about Jeff Beck too. You know, just plays and running, him get run over and just knock his helmet plumb off or something and get right back up. And, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
But the same numbers on both teams, Matt. About 20, 25 players at the most. You know, and if I left anybody out, I apologize. But they did go 8-4. And the next year they started out 4-0, and I think John Barnes was absolutely. I've heard that he had 800 or 900 yards in the first 4 games or 5, and he got hurt and they didn't win another game.
Interesting.
So
that's why you hit the subscribe button. You want to know this kind of stuff? This is where you find it out right here.
So that's the 77 team, and I don't know, just that's sad looking at that team because a lot of those guys have passed on before their time. You know, like Jeff Beck, Ricky Williams is gone, John Barnes is gone. You know, it's just kind of sad looking at some of that.
Now, what about
stuff.
Big Tim?
Booger Sexton's gone.
What about Big Tim Clifton? What years
He was a little before that. Maybe a year before that. Him and Doug Palmer.
75, something like that.
Him and Doug is wedged in between these two teams.
Okay.
You know, I saw where he was an all-state player.
Yep.
Tim Clifton was.
Yep.
All right, Matt, and the last one, which was, and I'm going to highlight this team. Their record was not outstanding, but they had a very good team. They were 6-6. It's an 85 team, which would have been when you were 8 years old and I was a sixth grader. But this is the David Blevins, Tony Crane team.
I probably would have been in Miss Clifton's class.
Right.
Or Miss Kennedy, one of them.
Yes.
Second, third grade.
Well, they went 6-6, but now they lost 3 games by less than a touchdown. They lost 2 games by 1 point. They lost to Sandrock twice, who won the state. All right, and if you've heard this story before, played Sandrock here, at Cedar Bluff, overtime, 4th and 40. And David Blevins threw a touchdown pass to Harold Horton in overtime. And Cedar Bluff went ahead, but Sandrock came back and scored and won the ball game. There was a missed extra point or blocked extra point when Cedar Bluff scored. So Cedar Bluff actually took the lead in that. But you know that Sandrock, that's Lance Mackey, Jim Tom Stimson, some of that bunch. But they lost to them twice. They lost to them in the second round of the playoffs. This was Danny Brown's David Blevins and Tony Crane. In the line, Eric Horton was a wideout. Scott Wright and Roy Mitchell were the tight ends. Chris Colley, Chris Watson, Mike Wilson, Donald Sexton, Conrad Brewster, Kurt Tucker were the line.
Now,
that's a tough crew, isn't it?
it is. Now, I tell you, those guys, me being where I was, this is just my opinion. Being a second, third grade, your mom and Miss Clifton and Miss Kennedy, all are elementary, Miss Hampton, this is within the old school. Now, I remember before they tore it down. It was right in that time they tore it down, 83 or 4, when they changed it. Those guys were, I remember like being in the lunchroom and they come in with their jerseys on and you knew it was Friday and your mom and them wore their red or white dresses and we all had the stickers on our shirt and the hallways were decorated and, you just knew it was Friday. You knew it was football day.
Oh, yeah.
And when you see those guys come in, I remember Mike and Kurt, probably more out of them, I guess, because they were maybe I seen them at break or something, and they would maybe not talk to me like, but, would try to aggravate a little bit, And they were just the coolest guys in the school to me.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When they come in, they had them jerseys on. Mike and Kurt and them, dude, that's, you wanted to be You wanted to be a Tiger. You wanted to play football.
Yeah.
You wanted to be cool like them guys.
Yeah, they were good football players. Some other guys I didn't mention, Matt, that were younger on the team was Brent Hutchins, our buddy.
Yep.
Tough. Mike Davis. Y'all know Mike lives over on 273. Went to Cedar Bluff. Kenny Dixon, Vince Shedrick. And I think I've mentioned everybody else. Scott Wright, I mentioned him. I mentioned Roy Mitchell, Crane, Blevins. But Crane and Blevins were first team All-State.
See, I don't remember Tony. I do remember Blevins some.
He told me he made 180 times.
A little bit, but Tony,
or somebody told me he made 15 a game.
I'm just a little kid. I don't.
Yeah.
And was Tony a both?
Terry Chapman was also on.
I do remember Terry.
Yeah,
most
Terry
definitely
had some of the hardest hits.
Now, Terry was. Well, I remember being around because we lived down in apartments or something down there on Boundary or Lawrence, down there at Cedar Key or something. So I was around Higgins and Stevie Dupree.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, they were
talking about Steve. You talking about the
Chapman.
Driver boys. Did you know them?
No.
Oh, you didn't know them? Fred, Terrence, and all that bunch?
Daryl and Harold, of course, because of Anton. So
Right.
that group, I knew all them because of Anton, and we played basketball. And if we were shooting, well, they would show up and, you know, they would play. You know, they would let us play with them, you know. And Terry was just kind of, I just remember him being like, I remember them, they would break dance in the corner, him and Eric.
Were they good break dancers?
Yes. They were good at everything.
On that?
I tried to. Whatever they let the goofy white kid with the big glasses.
I never did see too many.
Thank y'all for letting me hang out on the cardboard with Darren Harold. They're great guys, man.
I remember
treated me just
one
like
of them being in the break.
They just treated me like I was one of the like I was a brother to them, like I was Anton. You know,
right.
I'd go eat. Yeah, I'd go eat when Miss Horton cooked dinner. You just go in and sit down and eat. Or
we used to go watch these guys practice and run with them at practice. I never remember any of them saying anything like, "Why don't you get out of here, you little dweeb?"
No, I don't either.
You know,
and they could have. I don't ever remember that at all.
No.
They would pass the ball, Mark Jones and like I said, Michael and them. They just passed me the ball like I was one of them, and I remember,
only thing I remember,
Mark or somebody telling me like when I would shoot it, you know, like you got to let your wrist go. You got to kind of do this.
Yeah, wasn't no bullying.
I don't remember it.
I don't remember it. Maybe it was. Maybe they were suppressing it.
I just don't. I
just don't remember being bullied.
I don't either. Maybe we was, and we're suppressing those horrible memories. The only crap I caught from anybody at school was just about my glasses, but it was from people in my class.
Yeah.
And that went on for about 2 or 3 weeks, and once we all fought, and I punched every one of them in the nose, and I got sent to the office, and we all got paddled a few times.
The only thing them older guys say to me is, "Hey, boy, your mama's good looking," stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
all that class, so all these guys you mentioned,
you think you're bad because your daddy's the principal.
Yeah, now that could be hard to be a principal's kid. It had to be.
I didn't hear a lot of that from like guys like Kurt Tucker or nothing. I remember them guys like talking to me like I was
just whoever,
normal person.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I wasn't, but I was a kid.
Yeah, right.
But I heard a good David Blevins story, and the guy was telling me one time that David threw a pass to him in a ball game, and he dropped it. And you know how a lot of leaders will come up and, what's the matter with you? You can't catch nothing. I'll never throw to you again. Cuss them, whatever.
Yeah.
He said, David come up and said, "Don't worry about that drop. I was throwing that to the guy behind you anyway." So that's the kind of leadership he provided.
Yeah, hey, I've heard stories about Eric doing stuff like that. Hey, he fumbled the ball. Hey, we need you right now.
Eric could be tough.
We got to move on from that because we need you right now. I don't know what kind of crazy whack crap that was he was pulling, and get on you like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? But right now you got to move on because I need you to play right now.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't have much time for, what do you call it? Like I remember coming in the game, he come up and said, "Quit being a pansy."
He just wanted you to play tough.
Yeah. What are you doing?
But he realized it, and God rest his soul, we're not talking because I love Eric. Eric had two tough brothers.
Yeah.
And they all played together, and they was tough, and you didn't have two tough old brothers like that.
Oh, they hit each other in practice.
Yes, man. Those
Harold
guys,
and Eric, I remember them teeing off.
Man.
I remember one of the hardest hits I ever saw in practice was against Eric, but Harold did it. And it was it wasn't a dirty play, but they threw him an out route, and Harold was playing corner. You know?
And you would think, and now these days, when you watch these guys on TV, if they were brothers, they'd be like, they'd probably take it easy on each other.
No.
They would go harder back in the day.
Mm.
Most definitely.
I think they had a way of, maybe. I think they get on you if they feel like they wasn't getting all you could out of you.
Yeah, because they want to win.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
But, but not just for making a mistake.
It was hard for me to see that as a young person. I understand now. They just wanted the best because they didn't want to lose. And for me, I'm just out there really just wanting to play, just to hang out because I just, it was just fun to hang out with your buddies. And I didn't like the running and stuff. But, to play with Jerry and Jermaine and Tyrone was younger and Red and Michael Bevels and some of them, was just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just goofing off, just having fun.
Yeah.
And when it got real serious,
to be around.
They just wanted to win. That's all it was. Just had a competitive spirit.
And ninth graders on that team was Larry McCullough, Art Littlejohn, and some of those guys that dressed out with them some. Probably didn't get to play much.
And trust me, I'm sure them boys took their licks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they was all tough guys, all them boys were.
Yeah.
They ain't Little Johns. You didn't run up on the bus and grab a hold of one of them. Boy, any of them will flip you upside down on the bus.
Yeah. Old Bart. He's a funny guy.
Yes, sir.
Well, and that's it for the
it's good stuff.
3 teams. What we do, we'll move to center next week.
Yeah, we'll be back the whatever that is after the 3rd.
Yeah, the 11th.
10th.
Do 3 center teams.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep. So we'll come back and do Cherokee County the next Sunday, not this one, but
I'm trying to stay in the 70s and 80s because everybody remembers teams from 5 years ago.
Most people that watch this show are about our age. They're from 35 to 55. Mm-hmm. So you were born in between 70 and 80.
Right.
So if you were born in 70, you remember teams from 78, 79. You were 9, 8, 9, 10.
Remembered. No, those guys were good football players too. There's a kind of there's a belief now, or not what do you call it? I can't think of the word. But people just kind of like, it's almost like guys wasn't good back then.
Yeah,
these football players now are the ones that are good.
Well, I don't. Man,
that's crap.
Somebody had to start it.
That's crap.
Somebody had to start it,
and they really do that with basketball.
It had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And these guys that you just mentioned, from Daddy to even back to back to Bo and your daddy, those old guys. Man, those your daddy's team and them and Bo Martin and them and then later on like Burkhalter, Gary and them that played, those guys are tough, man. Them guys, they didn't play football. Junior Shaner in that class.
Yeah, we just have bad. We don't.
Or we'll defend for Gainesville too. I know them better. I don't know the center's 50 teams. Dallas Brewster, some of those old guys played over there. Are you kidding me?
Ain't nobody threw back then. But yet Daddy said David Bevel threw all the time. When he was the quarterback, obviously started, and that was in 1962. But nobody threw back then. It was easier back then because everybody ran.
Well, we had players who went to Alabama and Auburn, right?
It might have been tougher back then because everybody ran.
Bushland went to Auburn.
You knew they was going to run. So, I think the game's soft now. I don't think it was soft.
Oh, yes, it's soft then. Absolutely. I don't think anybody where they agree with anything we would ever say on this show from now forward.
Compared to then.
This game we're watching right here. Now, could those guys?
Now, those guys can hit. They can play then.
Now, could they go back in time and play?
Gosh, yeah.
Yes, but if you just put them in the game right now, no, a lot of them would just tap out and quit. You get speared in the gut. Are you talking about the old guys that play with no face? Man, it was legal to forearms people in the face. They ain't got time for that. They're trying to make money. They're trying to make movies and be cool and drive fancy cars and live big houses.
Well, I'm not saying coaches didn't scheme back then, but let's say when John Barnes and them played Ohatchee. They knew Ohatchee's probably going to run straight at them 40 times that night.
Mm-hmm. And they paid 50 plays, 49 plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's hard to get ready for. Hey, they're coming right at you, and they're good.
Yeah.
Hey, you just got to stop them. But, I don't know.
That's good stuff. And next week on the 10th, we'll be back, guys. We'll do center. They don't have some stuff for Cherokee County. So let's switch gears right here. Give me about 2 seconds, and we'll be right back. Hang on. We do appreciate you. And again, we'll start off this by saying if you enjoy our content, Applecast, Spotify people, just follow us. Well, we'll be off the next Sunday, but when we come back, guys, we're going to come back and it's going to be wild and crazy.
With a vengeance.
It's going to be, we got a lot going on. And I got some stuff I'm working on, some reels that Dean don't know about. I'm going to have a commercial style ad for us. I'm going to start working on probably this week. Media days went well. We had a great time. Thank you for everybody in the county, Rehab Partners, Coosa Corner, Turkey Eye Clinic, and Farmers and Merchants Bank. Without them, wouldn't be possible. And we appreciate them for being a part of that. We went over 2,000 people on our page. Our summer workout reels on Instagram, it went over 5,000 views. Things are really moving forward, and we give all thanks to God for all that and honor for him. We do appreciate that. So without further ado, Dean, this is what I kind of wanted to talk about some. Arch and the orange tea. Is it the wrong tea, though? Is it the wrong orange?
I figured that's where he would go, though.
Well, with Cooper's, his dad, played at Ole Miss, had a decent season, had some kind of spinal stenosis, something,
Not like he didn't have seasons like Eli.
He was a receiver, and he probably would have went in the league and made a living.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was okay. But he had some stenosis problems. So, and everybody knows Uncle Eli. Played Ole Miss, Giant, Super Bowl champ, MVP, Hall of Fame, and everybody knows Peyton.
Yeah.
Played at the Big Orange Tea. Did not win on their national championship, people. That's the next year.
Yeah, how was people think?
Yes, a lot of people. Because he's Peyton Manning, they're like, well, Tennessee won a championship, Matt. It was next year. It was a BCS. So, anyway, played on for the Colts, and the rest is history. Now, this is what I'd like to lay out for you. Now, I'm just going to give you some numbers, and people listening, pay close attention. People watching, check this out. We still got some live viewers on here. We do appreciate all you guys for all your love, and we're trying to get up to 1,000 people on our YouTube channel to have subscribers. If you go over 1,000, you get more. I get more tools I can use on our YouTube channel. So try to help us get to 1,000. We're about 200 now. Okay. Passing yards. 1,300 passing, 350 rushing, 17 touchdowns, and 4 picks for senior year. 5,700 for a career, 72 touchdowns, 18 interceptions with about an average QBR.
He's got one more year, right?
No, I'm just throwing out stats.
Oh, okay.
I got three different guys on here.
Okay.
Just see what you think about these numbers.
All right.
67% QBR. This other guy had 3,200 as a career, 3 picks, finished with a completion percentage of 123, only threw 3 interceptions and threw 50 touchdowns. And the other player, just using these 3, finished a career passing yards of 13,500, had a QBR of 99, 101, 140, and 141, which averages him about at a 130 overall QBR for his career. Senior year had freshman year, had 1,400 yards, just his freshman year. And the competition he played, their total combined records for his senior year, the teams that they beat had a winning records of like 6-3.
Really? And
the first one I mentioned with a 5,700 yard career passing, their averages wound up being like 5-5. The loss to win comparisons, and the other one was 6-4. It was the same as number 2. So if I show you these numbers on the screen, then I would assume most people would pick the 13,000 career yard passer to be your franchise quarterback.
I would think, yeah.
Well, that guy played at
Modern
Day, which is Bryce Young.
Everybody out there throws for 13,000. What's his name?
13,000. That was Bryce Young. That was his career.
Oh, Bryce Young.
13.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yes, Bryce Young.
About 130 QBR.
I thought you was talking about a new one.
And another guy that played at a place called Warren High School at Long Beach Poly. Their best team that they played was Corona Del Mar. He had over 3,000 passing in his career, and his name is Nico Lamavely. Lamavely. Nico Lamavely. Okay. And Arch Manning played at Newman High School in New Orleans, and his best opponent was St. Charles Catholic, who they played. 17 touchdowns and 4 picks his senior year. His overall QBR was about between 67-66%, where this other guy's is 123.
So Arch Manning's at 67?
Yeah, and Bryce's was about 135, 136. So out of all those three, now I used a Heisman winning quarterback because this is my point of this. I'm not trying to put nobody on blast. I mean, I don't know the kid, and he's got a great family, and they have many things that other kids may not have. And I'm just curious because we can say this. So ESPN is paid by a lot of big advertisers, and they can't say this. Is he really good, or is he just good because he's a Manning? They're assuming that he's good.
It makes you wonder. I mean, they're making a big deal about this kid.
A big deal.
And when I saw his stats, I was I'm like, they're normal. They're good.
Yes. No, I'm not saying he's bad. This is the LeBron effect. We're not saying he's bad.
We're not saying he's bad.
It's not.
I was shocked.
Wow, holy wow! This guy is averaging 140 QBR with 13,000 careers. No, that's Bryce Young.
He's throwing for about 160 yards a game.
And his competition is not great. He plays there in New Orleans, down at Newman High School.
It's not as good as
It's 2A Region 11 or 2A Spot 11. They do it. It's weird.
I mean, he runs. I think they said he'd rush for 700 or 800 in 3 years.
Yes, I think it was 600.
Yeah. Hadn't thrown many picks. He's thrown a few, but he averages 24 touchdowns and 6 picks a year.
72 for 18 and 18.
Yeah.
72 touchdowns, 18 picks.
But, which are good stats. But again, I mean, guys, they go on like this is the greatest player that's ever stepped on a football field.
That's what I'm saying. So, now.
And whoever signs him will be your champion. And they may do it. But
there's 3 quarterbacks that's only ever got a perfect grade. 3. 1, Vince Young, played at Texas. Quinn Ewers, he's at Texas. And
is he going to be their quarterback?
And Arch is at Texas.
But he's got one more year of high school, right?
No, he'll be there. He's on campus. I mean,
Arch Manning.
Yeah, he'll sign. He signed with them. So.
Well, I think he had one more year.
Yeah, all right, he'll be there. Now he's going to have to try to win the job from Quinn Ewers, which is another guy that had a perfect. They rated these guys perfect. So I'm just curious because we all know Vince Young, and his year before. They put on a clinic versus Michigan. He had some kind of crazy, like 300 yards rushing against Michigan. And that was his breakout moment. Then the next year they did what they did, and they went on and beat USC, Matt Leinart and them in the Rose Bowl, won the national championship. Greatest, rated by ESPN and us, the greatest college bowl game ever.
Yeah.
It was great. I think because we was all pulling for him, and he seemed like a nice, relatable kid.
Well,
But I don't understand. Are we just rating him because he's a Manning? Because we're assuming because his uncles were great? I just don't understand. If I'm looking at these numbers right, and you have to watch film too. You can't just look at numbers. And guys, you can go on Max Prep or Huddle, and you can find film with this guy. And when you watch it, you see who he's playing against. And he's got a lot of young guys on there that it looked like he was playing. Not all of them, but some of them looked like they were playing a middle school team.
Really?
Yes. Bad.
See, I don't have no idea about their opponents. But they're not a big school in New Orleans?
It's the 2A whatever. I mean, their toughest opponents at St. Charles Catholic. And I think they won the region or had won it the year before.
Well, I know. Let's just look, outside of Bennett. But I know, okay, you take Joe Burrow, not Bryce Young.
Mac Jones.
He's
supposed to be better than all of them.
Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, guys.
Better than all of them.
All those guys threw for 10, 12, 13,000 yards in high school.
He's got 5,700.
5,700.
Now, supposedly.
In 30 games?
Maybe, yeah.
36 games?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't throw much.
Well, that's. And that's what us football people, can tell you, just by looking at those raw numbers, and you watch film and you see how they play, they don't throw it a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, but still, man, if he didn't throw it a lot, geez Louise, Dean, he's got, Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence and those guys, high school, throw for 3 times that amount. Now, if he would have had
Watson and Lawrence had 17,000 yards in high school rushing and passing.
Yeah, and he had 6,000.
6,000. But I've never seen him make a bigger deal about a player.
Huge deal. That I don't get it. So it's his 6,000 career yards versus 15,000 career yards. If he had like 12,000 yards, you would say, well, if he had 12,000, you'd go, well, maybe they just don't throw it a lot. But he's still got 12,000, Dean. I mean, come on. I mean, he's only like 1,500 or so behind Bryce Young. And his QBR, Dean, I mean, come on, it's like 121. But his overall QBR is like 67, 68. Like 1 year at 67, one at 69.
So that's the QBR.
Overall. And that means what? Even if you don't throw it but 10 times a night.
He's not done as well as it's put out there.
If you only throw it 10 times a night and you only maybe his receivers are bad.
I don't know, maybe. You know, we went to a game where Lawrence overthrew everybody. And he's the number 1 pick in the draft.
We went to his state championship game, and he didn't play good. I was asking.
No.
Todd tells me on the way to, the day or two before, said, hey, we're going to go to this game. And this guy named Trevor Lawrence he's great. I said, well, I've heard the name. He said, well, we're going to go watch that. That's awesome. He's telling me about him because he knows the coach is up that way. And I'm just,
He went 4.
I'm giggly.
Worst game he played in his career.
And I'm looking at Todd like, he's full of crap. Who's these coaches telling you? Well, but
2 years later, he's leading Clemson to a championship.
But in his defense, too, their defense waxed that up.
Yeah. Yeah, and all he did that night, he overthrew receivers.
And they run the ball so well. They didn't have to throw it. Because that tailback, who was he? I don't even remember.
I can't remember. They had. But, I mean, guys, he threw for 4,000 yards that year. Year.
So my point is, I'm thinking that why didn't he go to Tennessee? Well, I don't think Tennessee needed him. That's the point of the little picture that you see on our cover photo that you're going to be looking at on YouTube. Because they got Nico. I think Nico's better. 6'6", 220. Played Long Beach Poly at Warren High School out there.
Oh, that's good.
Big
good
time
competition out there.
Big time. And go watch Nico play. He would have had a better rating than he had, but he had a 7-on-7 out there, and he threw like 2 picks in his 7-on-7. And all the big names were out there, ESPNs and all the top 5 gurus and the QBRs and the Under Armour camps.
Mm-hmm.
And they dropped him in his rating a little bit because he threw 2 picks in his 7-on-7. But I'm telling you,
he's a real dude.
I remember I texted you the other day because I got to reading, and I
remember that name.
I was curious to be who is this other guy. And I just got in a rabbit hole studying it. And I said, well, I'll put this on the show Sunday. It's interesting. I think people would like to know about it. I think people need to know that the rehearsed people at ESPN and Fox Sports, people that are getting paid to say things, they can't say, I don't know about this, Arch Manning. Because when I look at his numbers, it don't seem real good to me. And when I watch him play, I see a bunch of 5'10".
They don't just jump out at you.
5'10", 170 linemen are chasing him.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he's 6'3", 220. He's a good looking guy. And he's got a bunch of people from, just a middle school looking team. I just didn't see the games, and none of those games I saw were it just looked like his line was just dominating those other teams.
Mm-hmm.
And even when he had to run away from people, I'm just saying.
I don't know. You never know. And which we all know Jamie Hampton was good at Cedar Bluff. And I'm making a point here. I know you're going, well, what's that got to do with this kid going to Texas? But his junior year, I did go to a couple of games, which would have been Matthew Wilson and Jeremy Bryant's senior year.
Great.
Yeah, they went like 12-1. They lost to Wadley. But I was at one game, and they mostly just ran Jeremy and T-Bird. And they would throw some to Matthew. But somebody told me one day, I was like, these guys got some good players. I mentioned him. you know.
They killed Jamie's numbers because he wouldn't get to throw the ball.
Well, and they said, I tell you, who's freaking good on this team is that dang quarterback right there.
But you didn't know.
Huh? He goes, dude, he's a stud.
But you just don't know because he didn't throw it.
And he goes, he ain't throw but a pick or two all year. And he ended up getting intercepted by Zachary, who we will agree started at Auburn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they said, hey, dude, he didn't throw it. And, you know, this is late in the season, but I can't remember who it was told me that. But he goes, you don't see it much, but that guy right there is good.
And he did turn out to be
And maybe
great.
That's the deal with my point is maybe
that's what Sarge is.
Yeah.
He may be great. And surely the people that's grading him down there on the sidelines, I would assume they're doing their job. I'm just afraid that because of his last name, he may be getting a little extra media love.
Yeah. I've never seen him carry on about a guy like this.
I mean, this is crazy. He had a perfect rating. The only other one, Vince Young, got a perfect rating.
It's been going on forever.
So I'm just saying, keep an eye on this Nico kid at Tennessee. And we know who Bryce Young is, and he would be favored to probably win the Heisman this year,
now,
too.
I will say this. Now, they don't come back and say, well, Arch Manning did good. He's probably going to do good no matter what. But we're talking, dude, he's being built up as the Jesus Christ of college football.
The czar. Why don't you go look in his closet?
Says he going to be that good.
He's a god of college football. Why don't you go check him out?
For over 2,000, and which, I mean, that's great. But, I mean, I'm telling you.
I just don't,
Guys, this is.
His freshman year, he threw for 2,400 yards. And after that, it kind of went 17, 16, 17, 16. 15 one year, 16 another stuff.
I mean, this guy, okay, I'm going to mention, and I know we ain't got much time, but like, okay, you hear that Bo Jackson's coming. You hear Herschel Walker's coming. You hear that LeBron, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, all these guys are coming.
We had Peach Cobbler down at Coosa Corner, and that's pretty good.
Or them chicken breasts from Evans.
Some chicken livers,
No,
the breast. I eat on it for 2 days,
God,
man.
that's bigger than that. Look like a hubcap.
So is
good, though, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. No, but is it because he's a Manning? I don't know.
That's a good question.
The numbers don't jump off the page at me. Keep an eye on Nico at Tennessee. Man, I'm just telling you.
And again, he is saying he does think Manning will be good.
Yeah,
He's
sure.
not saying
he's
going to flop.
No, I didn't say flop.
Just good.
I don't know.
That's it.
I think Nico's going to be better.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing. We're not saying he's going to fail. So don't come back in 2 years and go, you boys don't know what you're talking about. Y'all said Manning wouldn't do that. No, we're not saying that.
I just don't think he's the next kind
savior
for quarterbacks.
For Texas football.
When has Texas really ever had anybody that went on done anything? Even Vince went on to the pros and he had a lot of personal problems.
He
didn't do nothing.
Hung around a long time.
He's a good backup. Major Applewhite, I mean, how far do you want to go back?
Guys, I don't even know.
50s or so or 60s.
I don't know of a Texas quarterback.
They had some guy.
Who is the greatest? Guys, who's the greatest Texas quarterback?
They had some Rogers guy that played, way back in the day.
I can't remember. Earl Campbell's the best player, and Vince Young's probably the best player.
Earl Campbell may be the best player ever to play college football ever, any position.
They've had some great defensive players. Good running backs. Ricky Williams, Earl Campbell, Jamal Charles. I mean, they've had some studs, but that's California.
Oh, yeah.
And we can attest that if you've been a stud in California, you're probably a stud.
Yeah, you're playing any school that has Polly in the name or something.
Yeah, any Polly. If it's Polly wants a cracker, I mean, it's still probably good. Yeah.
Polly wants a cracker high school.
No Pollys. We don't want to. If you're a coach and you want to play a Polly,
that's the logo there. If y'all can see it up in the corner, but the other orange tee, question mark. I'm just saying, I don't think Tennessee needed him because they got Nico, and that's the point that I'm making with the thumbnail. So let's get out of here, man. We'll cut loose, and I didn't mind going along tonight because we're going to be off.
You're fine.
We're going to be off again next week.
We got somebody asking. It ain't nothing major.
And if we got some news of some sort, then I will be right there. The locker room. You see it up on your screen right now. I may come in and do some of that if we have some kind of news come in through the week. So that's kind of that. So again, we appreciate everybody for tuning in with us. Apple Cast and Spotify. We'll catch you guys loose. Y'all have a great 4th of July weekend. We love you guys.
Yeah, we enjoyed it tonight.
God bless everybody. Y'all be careful. And thank you for checking us out, subscribing, and hanging in there with us, man. We're growing a lot, and we appreciate it. It's all due to you guys. Thank you.
Y'all have a good week.
Okay. Yeah.
We ain't told them about it yet. Oh.
Yeah, we'll get loose, and so we covered plenty of stuff. USFL next Sunday, 6:30 Fox. Check it out. We'll be watching. I may come here and turn it on and turn the camera on, or
6:30. Yeah, kind of interesting.
we may turn the camera on and watch it with you guys, or put it on or something. You know, hang out and watch it after halftime or something. If it's a good game, I'll put it on the camera here and we'll watch and talk about it. I'll go live with you on there. Media Days was good.
Yeah.
Talked about some NFL baloney, some Deshaun Watts stuff. You know, we ain't talked about it at all.
Yeah.
But we don't really know a lot. You know, whatever it is, and I hope it turns out for the best for him. And I don't know about Baker if he's going to be traded and they're going to split some money with him somehow, or I don't know what's going to happen.
Don't sound like it.
I don't know what's going to happen.
He's getting traded. I don't know what's going on.
And all the old Tigers, hope you guys got to listen and tune in that part of the show. It's fun. I like doing that old stuff.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And this is something we do in the summer because there's just nothing going on.
And we can highlight, and we need to keep a record of it, what teams we do highlight, where we don't re-highlight them again.
10th, we'll be back. I may be on through the week with the locker room, or we may come on Sunday and watch the USFL championship.
Yeah, maybe Birmingham will win that thing.
I may come on and watch some of that. So we'll catch y'all guys through the week. I appreciate you.
Happy 4th.
Yeah, Joey, go shoot some bottle rockets and don't shoot each other. You put your eye out or something, one of them.
Roman candles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bottle rockets.
Is that what they used to shoot at each other?
Oh, yeah, we used to do it all the time. All right. We'll catch y'all guys through the week. Keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God as always, and have a great week. See you guys.